The Joe Rogan Experience.
She was 18. It's
And
the only one.
I try to stay off of pornography, man. That's one of my biggest arch nemesis is pornography.
Why?
Because it just weakens me. Yeah.
How so?
I put all my sexual, my fantasies and stuff, they're not mine anymore. They live, somebody created them better than my imagination can. And so they live in these, on the internet in these boxes. And it's like, and if it's not mine, I think, then I don't value it as much or something. And so I think it like weakens my ability to like be able to have sex and like be comfortable in that sort of world. And
Really?
Oh yeah.
Weakens your ability to be comfortable. Like, how so?
Well, because I get used to watching the sex and seeing it and not having to like be engaged with my actual feelings or anything. So then I see it and I still get all the joys out of it. I'm still out there e-jacking and, spraying out natural.
Spraying.
But I don't have any of the feelings attached to it. So then when I am engaging with somebody that I care about or something, it just doesn't calculate for me emotionally as well. And that's just me. But it's definitely made it tougher for me over the years. Because I would have a date set up with a nice girl, and next thing you know, I'm walking through the house and I start thinking about, a little bit of pussy or something, and then some tits or something. Or I'll even see I'll see a pregnant puppy and see those nipples or something. And the next thing you know, you're on the internet jerking off, and then
Wait a minute, hold on.
or like know what I'm saying? Anything could lead a man to jack off.
A pregnant puppy could make you thinking about human nipples. Is that what you're saying? You're not like getting excited about the puppy.
No, I don't do anything. I don't believe in bestiality or anything like that. But I think if you
don't believe it exists? Or...
Oh, I believe it exists, bro. They caught a dude near me one time with a lamb.
No.
Which almost sounds beautiful when you just say it.
Yeah, the lions lay with the lambs.
Yeah. But I don't think...
When you say near you mean in Hollywood?
No.
You mean when you were a kid?
In Louisiana,
yeah. Okay.
They got a lot of people out there.
On those fucking natural-born mushrooms.
I know. Oh, I never told you the end of that.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, I took that bag of mushrooms to that party.
Right.
And a bunch of people ate them who'd never had them before.
Uh-oh.
And then we played a game of hide and go seek, right? I was like,
oh, no.
Oh, dude.
You hide in another dimension.
I was like, I'll count. You guys go hide, right?
Oh, no.
And I never went to fucking look for them. That was the end of that, bro. I never seen one dude, this boy Timothy, I never seen that dude again.
People get lost in the woods, man. Maybe they got eaten.
Oh, yeah, maybe they ended up in another realm,
They could have, like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Ever see that show?
Oh, yeah, the first season I saw it.
Phenomenal show.
But I don't like that pornography.
Oh,
and I think it should be shut down, man.
For real?
Yeah, because I think it's killing like a lot of. I think it's harming a lot of men, man. I really do.
Do you think that booze should be shut down? Should we make booze illegal? Because that's killing a lot of men too.
No, but I think eventually we'll kind of evolve out of booze. As it's not like something that. It's not the hip drug that it once was.
Yeah, but it's still like a social lubricant.
That's a good point.
It makes people feel more comfortable talking to each other, loosens inhibitions. It's fun. Like, what is that ancient quote about wine? Your tongue becoming more lively.
People love wine.
Yeah.
And women love wine too, especially divorcees if you see them.
Yeah? You like wine?
I used to live with these rich people for a while, and they always had wine, boy.
Why did divorcees like wine?
I don't know, but when one of her friends would get divorced, they'd come over and just drink wine. And they'd lay on the couch. One of them tried to hook up with me on the trampoline.
Of course
one
you
time.
did.
And I remember the dad used to masturbate at night over there. This is when, speaking of pornography, the dad used to masturbate at night, and I would sneak out there in the kitchen. This is back when you had like a family computer, and it was in one part of the house.
Right.
And I'd try to sneak to the refrigerator and get some chips or something. Or get something, olives or something. And he would be over there by himself, just in the fucking bone zone. Oh, just where you can't even hear. You're so intent on the screen, you can't even fucking hear.
Whoa.
You could have your grandparents on each side of your head.
You caught him?
Oh, I'd see him. I wouldn't watch for long, but I would.
You watching through the window?
No, I would sneak out to the kitchen because the computer was kind of in the kitchen. They had a nice house.
Right.
And the computer, I'd have to elbow crawl over to the fridge Then, bro, I would have to open the fridge a little, reach in with my hand and press that light thing so the light wouldn't come on. Then open the door the rest of the way and fish for a snack. And he's over there just in the glow of that screen, bro. And that's back when the monitors were big, you know, and he's just over there just fucking looking for the devil. And he ended up getting divorced. And I think a lot of it was because of that.
Well, what was his wife like? Was she a wonderful, sweet woman, or was she annoying?
I think she might have been a little bit
Annoying?
business-centric sometimes.
Business-centric?
A little too much. Just,
How so?
Yeah, maybe just too business-centric.
What does that mean?
Just too, yeah, she might have been a little too demanding. But then if he's up for an hour and a half each night out there, you know, looking at it all,
right,
and he comes back to the bedroom, then you don't feel as desirable.
The question is, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
For what?
Well, for them, was she annoying first and he started beating off? Or was
I think he had it in
was
him.
he beat the devil?
I think he had a bit of it in him.
He had that devil.
Yeah.
He had that devil in him, Theo. I could see it in his eyes. He was talking to me, just hoping I'd go to sleep. He would drug me, but not to have sex with me. He would drug me so that he could freely masturbate. He'd leave his socks on. He wouldn't even take his pants off. He was an animal.
He put a hat on.
He was an animal.
The worst is if you're jerking off with a hat on, bro. You're going to hell, I think.
Fedora.
Yeah, that's the worst, bro. That's the most French thing you can do.
Jacking off with them straw Kentucky Derby hats.
Yeah, what's the worst hat to jack off?
The worst hat to jack
Probably
off.
Probably a top hat because you have to balance yourself while you're jerking off. Yeah.
One of them fucking chimney sweep hats.
Yeah. The best would be one of those Chinese hats, bro, because if you squat down low enough to the ground, you can almost hide under it and jerk off, you know? Those things would be dope, bro.
The most confusing would be like one of them Daniel Boone raccoon caps.
Yeah, but
you got that tail in your eye. You push it. You're blowing the tail's in the way. Just get the fuck out of my way with this tail. Ugh. Right about to finish, you get distracted by the tail. God damn it. Choking up dusty coon fur.
And it's hard to ejaculate when you're breathing out real fast, you know?
Yeah.
It's more of a intake sport.
Yeah.
But I don't like it, man. You think it's healthy for people? Because I feel like you kind of like, you know, you lead a lot of men in like their aspirations to, you know, control their beings and stuff. And these are just some of my weird interpretations. But, you know, to try and be on top of themselves in some ways and, you know, stay focused on controlling themselves in positive ways, you know, like staying fit and expanding their minds and thinking, you know, and not falling into easy traps.
Having discipline.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. I think that it's definitely important to have discipline. But I think that if you're a person, like say if you're not in a relationship, you're not getting any sex, and you're horny, and it's confusing, and it's distracting, it becomes a big distraction. Like if you're horny and you're busy, and you don't have anybody you're dating, you don't want to hook up with someone you don't like just so you could have sex with them. We've all been there before, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had girls that you were friends with or you dated, and the only reason why you dated them was for the sex, and they'd annoy the shit out of you, and you couldn't wait to get the fuck away from them?
Yeah, Tiffany's this girl I'm thinking about.
Tell me about Tiffany.
She had kind of too much, I don't want to say sideburns, but she had a lot of... You know, some girls don't know how to ride them. They were little.
They went down to the cheek where it got confusing.
Dude, an extra quarter inch on a female sideburn is way too much.
A lot.
It is.
That extra quarter inch is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you think about...
And if she cuts it, you're like, well, if you let it go, what would happen?
Yeah. So she's really in that hit or miss range on that side hair. And so, yeah, she had some family issues. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about when you were saying that. I interrupted you.
No, every guys have that before. Most likely. And some guys wind up marrying those girls because they don't want to be alone. Like sex for a lot of people is a requirement, like a physical, biological requirement. Like your body is constantly producing sperm. You need sex. If you spend time not having sex, you spend a month, 2 months, 3 months, you get fucking desperate.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys wind up just shacking up with some gal just because they know they could have sex with her. And meanwhile, they don't even like each other and they hate each other. And it winds up being a terrible, dysfunctional relationship, but she's basically your drug dealer That drug is pussy.
Wow.
She's dealing out that pussy for you. And you just got to have this weird, creepy, dysfunctional relationship with her. One thing that pornography does that's good, and I'm not saying all pornography, but just regular pornography, like two guys, that are just living their lives.
Where, like in Chicago?
I mean, anywhere. But I'm saying, like, I'm giving you two separate scenarios.
Okay.
Like two guys that are living their lives. One guy says, I can't take this anymore. I got to get a girl. I got to get any girl. And he winds up with this girl that turns out to be a nightmare, and she's a disaster.
The devil.
And it just doesn't work out, and he's just doing it because he needs sex. And the other guy goes and says, you know what? I'm just going to watch a little porn, and I'll beat off. I'll just look at that girl, those big titties.
Yeah.
I'm like, whew, I got it out of my system. Now I can concentrate on my life, my career. And if I meet somebody, I won't be so needy. I won't have this like massive requirement to be sexually stimulated and touched.
Yeah.
I'll be free of that monkey on my back, and I can just get to know them. I used to have a bit in my act.
It's a good point.
I used to have a bit in my act about, like, if you have any critical decisions in your life, this is my advice. Jerk off first, then think about it. Because there's been, I've had this happen in my life where I was about to go on a date with a girl, and I jerked off instead. And I was like, what am I thinking? I don't want to go on a date with her. She's annoying. I don't like anything about her. I can't talk to her about anything. Like, the only reason why I'm doing this is because she's got a big ass. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
But if you jerk off first, you don't go through all that.
Yeah, I guess for me it became addictive where I would just do that every time, and then I was just at home for 5 years and didn't, go do any dates or anything.
That's definitely not good.
Right, and so I guess that's the difference. If you get addicted to it and you find that it's just a repeat pattern, so you're not spending time with people at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's without value. I don't think that looking at naked people having sex, which is arousing and that feels good, I don't think that's without value. But I think there's definitely a danger in like immediate access to pornography. And today it's the most immediate access because you get it on your phone.
Oh, you can get it, yeah.
You pull up your laptop, open it up, type in some words, youporn.com, blah, 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 and next thing you know, you're beating off. It's so easy. And this has never been the case before. I mean, it's unlike any other time period in human history. And when you have instant access to things, you can abuse it, just like people abuse food. If you have a cabinet that is just filled with candy and chips, chocolate bars,
licorice,
soda in the refrigerator, if you're just one of those people that can't help themselves, you don't have any discipline, you will just eat all that shit all day long and get fat. And that is just as much of an addiction as someone who has access to porn all the time and just beats off all the time, or someone who has access to booze and just wants to get fucked up every day. All those things are okay, though, in moderation if you have discipline.
Right.
Like, there's nothing wrong with having a bag of M&Ms every now and then for a fucking, like, I feel like having some M&Ms. Who gives a shit? I work out all the time. I eat my vegetables.
I like peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
They're good, huh?
And you kind of trick yourself. I'm getting a little protein.
Yeah, they put that trick in the middle.
Getting some healthy fats with that peanut.
But I get, it's a good
know what
point.
I'm saying?
I just feel like we're at the point, for me, it seems like, where the temptation is too powerful, where it's starting to overpower whatever. Well, for me, it was whatever my natural abilities to defend against it were.
Well, you're sober, right?
Yeah.
And how long you been sober?
Almost 2 years.
And so before you were sober, you weren't sober.
Right.
And you had a little bit of a problem, which is why you became sober.
Yeah.
So you might have just natural inclinations towards addiction, which
Yeah.
I definitely think are real. And I think those natural inclinations exist a lot of times in guys like you and me because we're comedians. And comedians are impulsive people who are just rule breakers. We're rule breakers, for sure.
Yeah, I guess I am a rule breaker. I never thought about that. Yeah, I don't like if there's a rule, my first thing is to think of a way to think around it or something, or to do something different.
Of course, it's why you're funny.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons. It's one of them. It's one of the reasons why you're funny. You were raised by people, and you didn't necessarily want to listen to them, and you saw a bunch of other people in the neighborhood that were adults, like, these fucking idiots telling me what to do. Fuck this. And the next thing you know, you're making fun of them. Next thing you know, everybody's laughing. Next thing you know, you're a comedian. Those wheels have been put into motion.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that also leads itself to you want to do coke, or you want to do all kinds of crazy shit, and porn too. Porn's forbidden too. Porn is one of the weirder ones because it's this multi-billion-dollar thing, right? Where there's some ungodly percentage of the internet is dedicated to porn.
Yeah, it's the number one moneymaker on there.
But isn't it like, what was the amount of bandwidth, Jamie? Didn't we figure this out once? It's like 30-something% of all the internet bandwidth is porn. Let's take a guess.
People won't stop jerking off.
They're not going to stop. I wonder how many of them are women watching it.
Wonder if we had
That's
one
a
day where
different
nobody
argument.
jerked off, if the earth would feel different.
It would feel lighter. Everybody be more relaxed.
No, if one day where nobody jerked off.
Yeah, but if nobody was thinking about it at all, I think everybody would just calm down a little.
Because I feel like it's so prevalent now.
Fever
You can hear
monkeys.
people coming in the distance, I feel like now. Yeah.
Yeah, you just put your
Dude, you're gonna
ear to the
turn into
ground.
you're gonna literally turn into a monkey one day. Oh, that's the worst, bro. But that's that old-fashioned jerking off when you used to let your balls hit your hand. That's a straight up. That's a Confederate soldier jerking off. That's the
old-fashioned jerking off.
The new thing is just shaft only. Nobody's fucking with their balls anymore. You know, dude. When I was growing up, we couldn't even get porn. We had to get this dude Nick on Friday would draw us a picture of some pussy. You know, a little bit of crotch for the weekend. $4 to this dude Nick.
$4 for drawings,
bro. You'd pay $8. And he had a nice fucking thing, bro. And you would fold that thing up, bro. You could feel it heating in your butt pocket the whole way on the bus. Sometimes you'd even
was that good? The pictures were that good?
He was so
you would
good.
jerk off to this guy's drawings?
Oh, everybody would. He must have made probably $60 on a Friday. And this was in 1995, you know?
That was $60, like $160 today.
Oh, yeah. Think about that.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, dude, and we'd come back on Monday and people would have like these fucking busted ass looking all sketches, rain on them. People was like, oh, this one got rain on it. Like, bro, that's some, that rain has your fucking kids in it.